Ladies and gentlemen, I had a ton of people sending me this story, so I thank you guys for using my email address to send this to me. And I honestly thought it was a joke when I saw this picture, and I said, "There's no way this is real. This has to be something out of like a satire article or something." No, this story is actually real. Florida, if y'all are in the building, y'all take the L yet again. Like, I don't know what's going on in Florida, what they are putting in the water, or maybe, like, I don't know. Maybe it's something in that water in that part of the United States. I don't know. But I got to tell y'all, first and foremost, let's address, matter of fact, before I even do that, some of y'all already know me well enough to know where we're about to go. Let me give the disclaimer. Look, guys, I get flagged so much on my channel, I have to give a freaking disclaimer. Can y'all believe that? Just to keep the monetization on the channel, let me give you guys a disclaimer first. And I am so serious. Let me give y'all, and I actually wrote this up. I have to give y'all a damn disclaimer. Warning. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news website articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these two children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. I am so damn serious about that. I get so sick of looking up and all my videos got all these yellow signs on them. I'm like, come on, man. I'm just speaking the real. Y'all see these pictures? Look at this. Look. I'm not even going to get flagged. I'm going to go straight to hell for this. Let me show y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. You know how Meek Mill says there's levels to this, right? I think even when it comes to beauty, when they say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, well, I think it goes the same way on the other side of the spectrum, that there's levels to being ugly, right? If you have beauty, you can have ugly. If you have night, you can have day. If you have good, you have bad. When you have attractive, you have this. This is the opposite side of the spectrum. And I'm just looking at her face and I'm like, Then you take a look at her lips and I'm like, that's interesting, right? Then you take a look down just below her chin and you're just like, wow, that's interesting. Because I'm wondering, like, what is that crap on your neck? Is that like a tattoo that's gone wrong? Did you sit out in the sun for too long? Is it kind of like that RoboCop 2 movie where you remember where the toxic stuff fell on that man and his skin started to melt off? Did maybe you fall into some of that crud, right? Some of that toxic stuff. You just put it all on your neck. Let's talk about these big red looking, don't even look like this is like, that doesn't even look real. You know how they used to dress up like in blackface? This woman, I swear, she literally looks like she's dressing in blackface. I don't know if y'all can I'm about, man. We are not even going to ever get to this story at all. I'm so sorry to her family. I feel sorry for your mother. Right? I feel so sorry for her mother. Because I have to do this. If y'all will look at this picture right here and y'all can see that big space that's missing in the top of her head, where one part of the wig doesn't really all the way connect to the other side of the wig, like it's trying to connect, but she didn't really have the hair follicles to connect the other side, to connect the wig together. Therefore, there's like a good big nice half-inch gap in the middle of her head right there that just don't really follow all the way through, right? Bad skin, bad teeth, bad eyes, bad neck, bad mother. How about that? Let me go ahead and get off of her looks, because I think that speaks on its own. This story comes out of Winter Haven, Florida, and let me tell y'all, for those who feel like, Jay, you're being too harsh, trust me, I'm not. I'm not being harsh enough. I should be a lot meaner than what I am. Everybody agree? Hello. I should be a lot meaner to these people who hurt little babies, especially these two. They literally look like sand creatures. Oh my goodness. Two Davenport parents and the uncle of a 2-year-old baby girl were arrested Wednesday after this little girl, 2 years old, was starved to death. Starved to death. Slowly starved to death. And y'all know, whenever y'all see Sheriff, what is his name? Sheriff Grady Judd, y'all know it's going to be really bad, because y'all know he goes in. Regis Johnson, let me see, that's not Regis. Let me get his face, let me move. Regis Johnson is the decrepit looking crypt keeper on the left-hand side, who's 57 years old, looked like he should be about 75. I think they got his age wrong. He definitely don't look like he's in his 50s. And then, of course, that creature with those high contrasting lips over there on the right-hand side literally looks like somebody peeled a clown mask off of her face, is Aranda Tillman. She is 35 years old. How does your neck get that ashy? You got an ashy neck. I've heard of ashy hands, ashy elbows. I have never heard of an ashy neck. That is disgusting. Jeez. That is a hard ass 35 years old. Y'all look at that picture and tell me, do y'all think she's 35 years old? This woman literally looks like she's about 57, and the dude looks like he's about 75. Both of them were booked on Wednesday at the Polk County Jail, and each of them face, no pun intended, face one count of negligent child abuse causing great harm. On the other person, Frank Robinson, who's 64 years old, which is the other individual, I guess, who was in the house. The dude over there on the right-hand side was also arrested and charged with negligent child abuse causing great harm. Want to know why he got arrested? Because he saw something and he didn't say anything. See something, say something. Y'all remember our hashtag, right? This is what should happen when you stand by and watch shit happen to children, and you don't do anything to stop it. You don't do anything to prevent it. You don't do anything to report it to the proper authorities. You don't do anything to help a baby, a defenseless little girl. And let me show you guys the most precious picture I have ever seen. Even with the scratch on this baby's face. I don't even know her name, but I want y'all to look at this. Apparently, the clown face mother with the face that don't even look real apparently created this baby. Even ugly people can make some very beautiful creations. And I'm going to tell y'all, this angel is so beautiful. Look at her. Boy, would I not do anything to help this baby, to advocate for this baby, to even do something as simple as something that we should know universally, that all children depend on their parents for everything that they need. Something as simple as sustenance, eating. A child must eat. A child must drink. We must take care of a child. Why have children if you don't want to take care of them? My body, my choice. But I want to take on these great privileges. I want these great accolades that come with, oh, you're a great mother and happy Mother's Day and blah, blah, blah. I want everybody to pat me on my ass for really just performing the action that all animals on earth perform, which is procreation, and we want a pat on the back for that. I think that when we get to a point like that, especially in the melanated community, I think we're in a very sad place. Black people, do y'all hear me? We want praise and accolades for doing the most basic stuff. We set the bar so freaking low that a bow-legged caterpillar could freaking do the limbo underneath the damn bar. This little girl needed an advocate. She needed a mother. She needed a parent. She needed somebody to care. And even then, she had a third individual in this house that could have literally stepped up and said something. And you know what he just said? It's not my responsibility. It's not my business. That famous colloquialism that too many of our people like to say. It's not my business. This baby and all babies should be our business. Can we get somebody to type that in the chat, please? All babies are our business. All babies are our business. Let's go ahead and keep going before I get really, really pissed off. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd, shout out to him. And I'm getting this article from clickorlando.com. So thank you for the article. He said in a news conference that the toddler suffered long-term starvation and was found dead in an inflatable pool turned into a makeshift playpen in Johnson's home after the suspect placed an unresponsive child call on Tuesday. Judd said that this little girl was skin and bones. She was literally skin and bones. And he said it was heartbreaking to see it. According to deputies, Johnson told them that the doctors believed that the toddler may have shared muscular dystrophy gene with her mother, but after getting her tested, found the diagnosis to be inconclusive. Let me say that again, and yes, that's her Facebook page that's still open. I'm not saying y'all should go over there and go post nasty things, but I am thankful that I found her Facebook page, which was the only way I was able to at least find a picture of this baby. Because I feel like I wanted to pay homage and tribute to this beautiful princess. She wanted to point out that this child may have had a gene disorder, but they proved that it was that it was inconclusive. So why would you bring that up to say that that could have potentially been a reason why this child starved and died? You just can't be that level of dumb, can you? Inconclusive, so that means it's a non-factor. The suspect also said the toddler's most recent doctor's appointment was August of 2021, but the toddler's pediatrician said that her last visit was in January of 2020 during her 6-month checkup, despite multiple attempts made by the medical office after that to contact the parents, according to investigators. So the doctors reached out and they just ignored their calls. Now, deputies said that the toddler's doctor was also concerned that she might have cystic fibrosis. You look at this child and you gasp. You gasp at the horror that you saw and the pain that this child went through, according to Grady Judd. Well, I can tell you, as a Christian, the only solace I get out of this whole thing is that the child is no longer starving or sick and that she is in the arms of Jesus. Judd said the girl who was born on July 25th of 2019, and that picture was the only picture I could find of that baby is that one right there. She should have weighed 32 pounds, keep in mind, at age 2 years old. But when this child was found to be dead, she was only 9.5 pounds. 9.5 pounds. That's almost the weight that a newborn baby is. The parents both say that they attempted to feed the toddler in 2 days leading up to her death, but she did not want to eat and would only take a few bites. This baby should have been talking, putting sentences together, asking questions, telling them my diaper needs to be changed, running, jumping, and playing, according to Judd. When this baby died, she couldn't even stand. She could not talk, and she could not walk. According to Judd, Polk County detectives found that the Department of Children and Family Services had opened a medical neglect investigation of the girl's situation in December of 2019, but they closed it after several positive weight checks. This is why I think that they deserve life in prison, because clearly if they're being investigated, they know how to do the right things. As soon as they stop being investigated, they go right back to neglecting this baby. That proves that they made a conscious choice to murder this child. If you ask me, this is murder. They might not classify it as murder, but this should be the new definition of murder. Neglecting a child to death and starvation should be a murder charge against parents who do this type of thing. Now, the sheriff's office said that Robinson, who is Johnson's brother, also lived at the house and he was aware of the abuse and never said anything. Additional charges are pending against Johnson and Tillman, including murder charges, which judge called appropriate. Judge said that more medical work has to be done, however, as well as a thorough investigation by the sheriff's office and a re-examination of the case by DCF before those additional charges can be pursued. So, we're charging them with aggravated child abuse today and asking for a high bond amount until we can finish our investigation. The official cause of death will not be ruled upon by the medical examiner until the completion of all of the investigation, but it's evident to us that this is long-term starvation. One of the things that bothers me the most out of anything, when people have problems, and we all have situations and things that we deal with, it hurts my heart to hear when people cannot eat. It is the simplest thing that we all need. I have literally done for so many people over the years, even when I didn't have it, just try to make sure that people have the ability to eat. I do as best as I can to try to help in moments when I feel like people do need the help. Not every time, because you can't, help every single person every single time. But, you do what you can when you can. But this is just flat out unacceptable. Like I said, I think life in prison would suit all three of them. They stood by and watched this happen as well. Life in prison for all three. Let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And you know what? I forgot to mention that, and thank you. Somebody in the chat actually said that woman, that alleged mother, see if I can get her face back up here. They said that she might potentially be 4 months pregnant right now. I hope that is false information. God, that is so sad. Just keep making babies for what? To starve them and kill them and watch them die? Hashtag babies for benefits. That's actually where our hashtag comes from. Because what you have happen is you have too many people who only have children to collect benefits off of the backs of those children. And the AFC hashtag is hashtag babies for benefits. All right, here we go. Let's get it.
A chilling case of child abuse. 3 people are now facing child abuse charges after the Polk County Sheriff's Office says a child was found dead and it's believed the young girl was starved to death.
Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd says a toddler's father called police on Tuesday saying she was unresponsive and cold to the touch.
ABC Action News reporter Rochelle Elaine has more details on this heartbreaking case.
And information on a local resource designed to help prevent this from happening, Rochelle.
That's right. The sheriff described that child as skin and bones. He says that for her age, she was nearly 3 years old. She should have been 30 pounds, but she was just 9 pounds when she was found. The child's mother, Aranda Tillman, father, Regis Johnson, and uncle, Frank Robinson, are now facing charges in connection to that girl's death. There are also a lot of unanswered questions in this case, with the main one being, how did this happen? What the sheriff's office can confirm is that the child was at the center of a DCF investigation in 2019, just months after she was born, because she wasn't gaining any weight. DCF eventually closed that case after the child gained a few pounds.
And this child couldn't talk, couldn't walk, couldn't communicate. There aren't adequate words to express my frustration.
The sheriff's office also.
Why aren't people like people like this shouldn't be allowed to have children? That's why we have a hashtag TTO and TTT. There is no way these people should even have reproductive rights or reproductive organs to be able to create children. There's just some people on planet Earth that do not deserve to make children. If she is 4 months pregnant, man, that I just don't even know what to say about that. I would hope that they would somehow find a way for her to have a successful birth and immediately take that child away from her. And shit, give it to some family who will raise that baby right, man. That's just so sad to be born into a world of darkness like that, to just people that don't give a crap.
Regis Johnson and Aranda Tillman.
Regis Johnson and our.
And by the way, if you guys are watching, if y'all would do me a favor, we need to have at least one thumb up for everybody that's watching this story. So if you would help us share this story and share the memory of this baby. And if you know this baby's name, I wasn't able to find it, but post it in the chat, post it in the comment section. But if y'all would hit that thumbs up and share this story, please, especially of the memory of this baby, okay?
Aranda Tillman just went before a judge in Bartow who set their bond at $500,000 each. They're accused of starving their 2-year-old daughter to death.
If you can imagine looking at such a heartbreaking sight, basically it was just bones and skin.
A relative, Frank Robertson, who lives with him in Davenport, has also been arrested. He's accused of watching the child go downhill month after month and not reporting it. The 2-year-old was born at 6 pounds, 10 ounces. 2 years and 10 months later, she had gained only 3 pounds. On Wednesday, Johnson called 911 and said the baby was not breathing. When deputies arrived, they found her dead in a blow-up pool being used as a playpen.
When this baby died on May the 10th, she couldn't stand, she couldn't talk, she couldn't walk. This baby never got to be this big because of these people.
The Department of Children and Families investigated the couple back in 2019 because the baby wasn't gaining weight. The case.
Do y'all want to see Sheriff Grady Judd's full interview? It's like 15 minutes. I can maybe play about 10 minutes of it. If y'all want me to play that, let me know. We'll take a vote in the chat while we're live right now. But let me know if y'all want to see that. I'll go ahead and try to skip this next video if y'all want to see it.
Was closed after caseworkers decided that Tillman and Johnson were complying with an improvement plan. Tillman just told investigators that she's pregnant again. The sheriff says there's no indication that she's gotten any prenatal care, but now she will.
And when that child's born, then that child will be placed with some loving people that will raise and take care of that child.
Like I said, I'm glad he said it.
Because our goal is she's never out of prison again.
Well said. Perfectly said. I'm going to play one more real quick and then I'll go ahead and play it. So y'all are voting yes. So we'll go ahead and play it.
Davenport couple is behind bars after the Polk County Sheriff says they starved their toddler to death. We do want to warn you, the details may be hard to hear.
As West 2's Megan Mulatto reports, the nearly 3-year-old girl was found weighing less than 10 pounds.
Polk County Sheriff's deputies say they were responding to a call of an unresponsive child in a Davenport home when they found a 2-year and 10-month-old toddler on her back in a playpen in the living room. They say she only weighed 9.5 pounds at the time and should have weighed more than 30 at her age. She was pronounced dead on scene.
Between January the 2nd, 2020, when the baby went to the doctor for the last time, and May the 10th, 2022, which was 2 years and 4 months, that sweet baby gained 1 ounce.
According to the sheriff and the arrest report, the toddler's parents, Aranda Tillman and Regis Johnson, told deputies they recently fed the child. But according to the report, when a medical examiner conducted an autopsy on the victim, she found her stomach was empty, and based on her weight, she was determined to have suffered from long-term starvation.
This baby laid in a playpen made out of an inflatable swimming pool and starved absolutely to death.
In their first appearances,
I've given this matter careful consideration. The facts are horrifying, quite frankly.
Tillman and Johnson were given $500,000 bonds. They're facing charges of negligent child abuse causing great bodily harm. Megan Mulatto, West 2 News.
Sheriff Judd says more charges could be added.
I'm going to go ahead and play his interview, so if you guys are ready, I'll speed through just a little bit of it. Here we go.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with me today. We have to talk about something that's just horribly sad. And I want you to think about this. I want you to understand that each of these blocks represents 1 pound. We started an investigation where a child was starved to death, died of long-term starvation. And what shocks our conscience is nothing in this world is more important to us than our children, in their growth, in their ability to thrive. They're the most important, precious thing in our life. They're innocent. And they depend solely upon us for everything. So this little girl, this baby girl, was born at 6 pounds and 10 ounces. 6 pounds and 10 ounces. This baby, when it died, weighed 9 pounds. This baby should have weighed 32 pounds. This baby was born on July the 25th, 2019. Between July the 25th, 2019, and when they took the baby to the doctor, in January of 2020, the child had gained 3 pounds, was thriving. Listen closely to what I'm going to tell you. Between January the 2nd, 2020, when the baby went to the doctor for the last time, and May the 10th, 2022, which was 2 years and 4 months, that sweet baby gained 1 ounce. 1 ounce. So the baby should have been 32 pounds. The baby should have been talking, putting sentences together, asking questions, telling that my diaper needs to be changed, running, jumping, and playing. When this baby died, on May the 10th. She couldn't stand. She couldn't talk. She couldn't walk. This baby never got to be this big because of these people. This is mom at 35. This is dad at 57. Allegedly, he was her counselor at church along the way. Oh, he weighed 213 pounds.
So this dirty son of a gun met her in the church and was taking advantage of her in the church. Like, good Lord, man. He gonna go straight to hell for this. I didn't even know that part. So he was her counselor in church. Boy, the hypocrisy runs really, really deep.
Rhonda Tillman, mom, weighed 144 pounds. Did I mention to you that she's pregnant? According to what she says, about 4 months pregnant. There was food in the house. Regis Johnson, the dad, told us, oh, the baby ate a sandwich yesterday and some chicken nuggets last evening and drank. Well, that's just a bald-faced lie. When we did the medical examination, that child had 0 food in her stomach and only slight traces of fecal matter in the intestines. The child suffered long-term starvation. Now, I want to call your attention, for those of you who remember the Sally Struthers commercials where she was raising money for the children that were malnourished and starving. And you'd see those horrible pictures of those children. Keep in mind, they were still alive. This baby laid in a playpen made out of an inflatable swimming pool and starved absolutely to death. Regis works for his brother at a business called First Class Card Getters on Highway 1792 between Haines City and Laufman. And that's allegedly where they lived. We know that the doctor did the things that he should have. We know that there's investigations underway. We're doing a lot more investigation. There's a lot of questions we can't answer because we're early into the investigation. There's some questions we can't answer because they're protected by DCF regulations. These folks are both charged with aggravated child neglect at this moment in time. Obviously, it is our intention to charge them with the appropriate murder charges, but we've got to do medical investigations. The medical examiner's got to complete some work before we file those charges. But we got them into jail just as soon as we could. The baby didn't thrive because they wouldn't take her to the doctor. They wouldn't feed her. On this fateful morning, the father of the year called 911 and said that his child wasn't breathing. We talked to mom. She said she'd called 911 before, but they were busy. What? They made admissions. They defended their action. But I want you to understand that this baby, this little girl, this child that should have been thriving, gained 1 ounce in 2 years and 4 months. If you can imagine looking at such a heartbreaking sight, basically it was just bones and skin. There aren't adequate words to explain our frustration and our sadness, but our folks are going to do a complete and thorough investigation, and we're going to lodge all of the charges.
Throw the book at their ass. I agree. He might not want to say it that way. That's exactly what he's saying. Get them for every charge that they can get all 3 of them for. I think they all need to be charged the exact same. Even though the parents were the ones that were primarily responsible, but the third man who sat there and knew that it was going on and watched it and also lived off the back of that baby, because I'm pretty sure the only reason that they had that place to live is because they were getting some type of assistance from by way of that child. Food stamp Section 8, I don't know that to be a fact, but I'm just assuming. Because that's just what a lot of terrible human beings do. They live off the backs of children. If you guys would, do me a favor, if y'all would, click that thumbs up. We're doing really good right now. We want to have 1 thumb up for everybody watching. So keep an eye on that number if you haven't clicked that thumbs up. Just close the chat for a moment. Click that thumbs up. It'll help us quite a bit, okay? Let's finish listening to what he got to say. It's about 4 more minutes.
That the law allows against this mother and father, against these murderers who starved this child to death. We're going to lodge all the charges that we can, and the investigation's still underway because we have probably the same questions you do. Did no one else see this child in this condition? That's under investigation at this moment in time. This child just didn't get sick and pass. People had to watch this child who should have been up running and playing and talking to mama and dada. And you know, I've got a 2-year-old grandchild and a 3-year-old grandchild that are thriving and happy and climbing all over us when they're with us. And this child couldn't talk, couldn't walk, couldn't communicate. There aren't adequate words to express my frustration. Are there any questions?
What's your message to the community?
The message to the community is if you don't want your child, take it to a hospital, to a fire station, to anyone and say, turn my child in, I'm done with it. Don't starve the child. Don't starve the baby. It is unbelievable what we saw.
Are there other children in the home?
There were no other children in the home. But you can be sure of one thing. Presuming she is pregnant, like she says, 4 months pregnant, she won't have the chance to starve another one. Because our goal is that she's locked up. And when it's time to have this baby, she will have had prenatal care while she's in our custody. We have no evidence that the child's, that she or the child to be born has had any medical care. But she'll start getting it today. And when that child's born, then that child will be placed with some loving people that will raise and take care of that child, because our goal is she's never out of prison again. She won't get another chance to starve a child to death.
That's not even the end of the interview, but I think we can literally end it right there. Sheriff Grady Judd, man, if I ever get a chance to meet him, I think we'd be on the same page, same wavelength. Just an awesome guy, and I thank him for what he does, for just standing on principle, standing on what's right, and just being an overall good person, and putting criminals who absolutely deserve it in their rightful place. And I was just sitting there thinking about that. I was thinking about this thing. I was thinking about legacy. I was thinking about legacy when you're talking about this human being, not this person, that's not a human. This individual that you see on my screen right here, clown face. And you think about the word legacy. What does that even mean? Generally, men will have children to promote a legacy, to leave something behind in the world so that these children can grow up and become something great. Not only did all three of these stupid individuals need to be launched on an experimental rocket shuttle, and hopefully we can get that passed into law, launch them into space and see if the earth is flat or not. Do some experiments on them, right? You know, maybe let the aliens come down and probe on them a little bit, you know? Do some painful probing. I think about the word legacy, and it's so sad because a 2-year-old child for at least 24 months watched at least these three individuals walk by her, and ignore her for at least 24 agonizing months on this earth, until her body just gave out, until Jesus just said, there's no more, there's nothing left here. Gave them every opportunity. They even passed the Child and Family Services inspection. They could have gotten this right. They could have fixed this. They could have just done the right thing. They could have just given up custody. They could have just not had kids. They could have just used prophylactics. They could have just gave this child up to a safe haven. There's a lot of things that they could have did. Abstinence, maybe. Maybe you shouldn't have been in the church fucking on women looking like this, right? Because you want to get your dick wet, sir. Right? There's a lot of things you could have did. And the thing that they didn't do is the thing that we all need. And we all need to have somebody there that loves us and cares about us, that does it because it's what's right in their heart. If you don't want to do that, then don't have the kids. That is a choice. We shouldn't force these kids into this world and then force them into a life of suffering. That's not what this life is about. This life is about cherishing your children, loving your children, and encouraging them and nurturing them to grow up and become something great. And people always ask, like, how's my relationship with my daughter? Like, how is that as good as it is? And that's just because, you know, I appreciate my daughter. I honor my daughter, right? I honor her. I serve her. I'm here for her, not the other way around. I just believe as a father and a parent, that's what I should do. And shout out to my daughter, if she's out there listening. I love her, and every time I think about her, she just puts the brightest joy in my heart. To just know that this 2-year-old baby, that I'm not sure, and I know some of you might have posted the name in the chat. I don't know if that's the official name of this baby because they haven't officially released the name. I wasn't able to find the name on social media. Aranda Tillman is the mother's name. Now, if she named her child the exact same thing, then fine. But I don't know that to be a fact. That child suffered long-term suffering. And then to know that she got pregnant again, and I know that they're going to take as good of care as they can of this woman until she produces that kid and then separates her from that child, then think about that. What is that child's legacy going to be? Where's that child's family? Mother, father, uncle, cousins? relatives, legacy. That is going to be a very hard way going forward. But I would think that between that child being in the system or being in a foster home will stand a much better chance of survival than in these Three Stooges' care. But to this beautiful angel, I don't even know her name for sure, but I really wish that she could have grown up and become something great in the hands of somebody else. Young angel, young princess, we wish you an RIP. Beautiful baby girl, and just was robbed of an opportunity. But I thank you guys so much for listening to this story. Nothing less than life in prison for all three of them. And some of y'all might look at it and say, well, it's the mother and father's responsibility. It is all of our responsibility to raise these children. If you see children being abused and don't say anything, I think you deserve just as much time in prison as the abuser. I think that should go into law, and I hope that applies here. We can make that a case study in court. Make that the standard going forward. Take raising our babies seriously, okay? Thank you guys so much for listening with an open mind as well as an open heart to this story, okay? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Thank you.